Hi everyone, welcome back. In this lecture we will see how to use insert statement to insert the rows into a table. Well, we can use the insert statement to add a new row to a table. You can insert data into all the columns or specific columns. There are different ways to insert a data, like we can insert a single row or multiple rows, or we can insert a data from another table. Alright, so let us go ahead and let us see how to use insert statement to add a rows to a table. And we are going to use the command line interface, that is command prompt, to connect to the MySQL server. So here just go to the search bar and just type cmd, click on command prompt, just maximize this, and here let us use the command to connect to the MySQL server on localhost, that is MySQL followed by -u for username. Let us use root as a username and -p for password. Hit enter and here just enter the password and hit enter. It says access denied for user. So I have entered the incorrect password, that's why it is giving the error like this. So make sure that whenever you enter wrong password, you get this kind of error. In order to resolve this, you have to enter the correct password. Okay, so just retype the command again, mysql-view root-v, hit enter and just enter the correct password. And there we go. Once you enter the correct password, you will see the MySQL cell like this. It means you have successfully connected to the MySQL server on localhost. So here let us list out all the available databases. For that just type the command show databases. And notice here these are the list of databases. And we are going to use the company database. So let me first show you how to drop the existing database and create a new database. So in order to drop the existing database, just type the command drop database followed by the database name, let us say company. So here I am going to drop the existing database and I am going to create a new database so that we can start fresh. So here just hit enter. Now the database is dropped. In order to verify that, just type the command show databases and hit enter, and there we go. You can see the company database is successfully dropped from the list. Next, let us create a new database. For that, just type the command create database followed by the database name company. So here let me adjust the window so that you can see properly. Okay, so create database followed by the database name company, hit enter. Next, in order to verify whether the database is created or not, just type the command show databases to list all the available databases, and in a list you can see company database is there. It means the company database is successfully created. Next, here we have a list of databases and we want to use the specific database. For that, just type the command use followed by the database name company. Now we switch to company database. Okay, so basically here we are pointing to the company database now, and within this company database we can create the tables. So here I am going to quickly add the script to create a table. So here just click on paste anyway. So here we are using create table statement to create an employees table. So employees table has the ID, first name, last name, email, column. Okay. Next, hit enter. The employees table is successfully created. In order to verify that, just type the command show tables. This will list out all the tables in a company database. Right now there is only one table, that is employees in the company database. Okay, now we have employees table in the company database. Next, we are good to insert the records or rows into employees table. In order to insert the new rows into employees table, we are going to use insert statement. Just type insert into and then followed by the table name in which we are going to insert the new rows, that is employees, and then followed by parenthesis, and then within a parenthesis let us specify the column names ID, first underscore name, comma last underscore name, comma email. Next, hit enter. So here we have pointed to the columns. Next we need to insert the values within these columns, right? For that, let us use values and then parenthesis. Let us add a value to the ID, let us say 1, and then for first name let us give the value Ramesh, for last name Padtare, and email ramesh@gmail.com. So notice here we need to include the string or a text within a single quote or a double quote. So here I am using double quote, but you can also use a single quote. So to keep it consistent, I am going to use double quote in this course. You can also use single quote to add the string or a text. Next, put the semicolon at the end and hit enter. You can see one row affected. It means the row is successfully inserted. In order to verify this, just use the select statement over here. Select star. Star means we are going to retrieve the data for all the columns, and then from table employees, hit enter, and there you can see Ramesh employee successfully inserted into employees table. So this is how we use insert into statement to insert the single row into employees table. Next, you may have a question like, can I use an insert into statement to insert the data without specifying the column names like this? The answer is yes. If you want to insert a data into all columns of a table, you can omit the column names and provide the values for all the columns in the same order as they are defined in a table. Well, here we have created table employees and we have specified the column order like ID, first name, last name, email. If you want to ignore the column names in an insert into statement, then you have to specify the values for all the columns in this order. Like you have to enter the value for ID first and then followed by for first name column, last name column, email, like this. Okay, so let us see how you can do that. So here just type insert into followed by the table name employees, and then here we don't want to specify the column name, right? So just omit the column names because we are going to insert the data for all the columns over here. Next, hit enter and then specify values, and then within a parenthesis just specify the values for all the columns. For ID, insert a value 2, and for first name let us say Ram, for last name let us say Jadhav. You can give any values that you want. Email ram@gmail.com. Next, put the comma at the end and hit enter. The row is inserted. Next, in order to verify that, just type select star from employees, hit enter, and there we go. The Ram employee successfully inserted into employees table. So this is how we can use insert into statement without using column names to insert the data for all the columns. Next, you may have a question like, can I use the insert into statement to insert a multiple rows? The answer is yes. You can insert multiple rows in a single insert statement by separating the values with commas. For example, let us use the insert into statement to insert multiple rows. So here just type insert into followed by the table name in which we are going to insert the data, that is employees, and then here you can also specify the column names or you can omit the column names if you want to insert the data for all the columns. So we have to insert the data for all the columns in the same order, so we can ignore the column names from here. Next, put the values keyword and then hit enter, and then just add the values within a parenthesis. So within a employees table you can see the ID 1, 2. So here let us give ID 3 and then give the first name Sita and then last name Patel and then email sita@gmail.com. Next, in order to add one more row, just put the comma over here and then parenthesis and then give ID 4 and then let us give the first name Arjun, last name Singh and then email arjun@gmail.com. Next, in order to insert one more row, just put the comma and then parenthesis. Let's give ID 5. So make sure that the ID should be unique because we have used primary key constraint. Okay. Next, let us give the first name, let's say Priya, and then last name Sharma, email sharma@gmail.com. Perfect. So let us say we want to insert these three rows into employees table. Put the comma at the end, hit enter, and there we go. 3 rows affected. It means we have successfully inserted these 3 rows by using single insert into statement. Next, in order to verify that, just use the statement select star from employees. Hit enter, and here you can see these 3 employees we have successfully added by using single insert into statement. Next, you may have a question like, can I insert a data into a specific columns? So far we have seen how to insert a data into all the columns in a table, right? Now you may have a question like, how to insert a data into specific columns? Well, if you want to insert a data only into specific columns and leave others to their default values, you can specify only those columns in the insert statement. For example, here just type insert into followed by employees table name, and here let us specify the column name. Next, let us say we want to store the values into ID column and then first name column and then email, and we don't want to store the value into last name. Okay, so just here specify the columns in which you want to insert the data and leave other columns for their default values. Okay, so in our case we want to leave the last name column to store the default values. Next, hit enter and then values keyword followed by within a parenthesis just pass the values. So ID 6, so make sure that the ID should be unique. So far in the employees table you can see the IDs 1 2 3 4 5. Next ID is 6, and then for first name let us enter the value Anil, and next for email anil@gmail.com. Perfect. So this is how we use insert into statement to insert a data into specific columns. Next, hit enter. One row is affected. It means the row is successfully inserted. In order to verify that, just put select star from employee statement, and there we go. You can see Anil employee successfully added. So this is how we use insert into statement to insert a data with specific columns. In next lecture, we will see how to insert a data from one table into another table using insert into statement along with select statement. Alright, great. I will see you in the next lecture.